Hello everybody, welcome to a entirely new reading. We're gonna read Katawa Shoujo this time. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna do all the routes. Off to the side here we have Best Girl. I had to put something in the sides because the game is square and not rectangle, so she's there because she's best girl. I know you can't date her, I know she doesn't have a route, but when I looked at all the designs and I was trying to pick a girl, I was like, damn, why can't I pick her? She's the best girl. So just based off design, she gets to be there because she's best girl, even though I know nothing about anyone. And despite that, I didn't end up picking a girl that I like. So we're just gonna play, we'll just pick a route as we get into one, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's just start. Katawa Shoujo. I was gonna do something different for my second project, but people wanted me to do Katawa Shoujo, so I'm doing this one instead. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. I like the music so far. The title screen music and this music is both really nice. Oh, it's a bit loud. Let me turn that down. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. Deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight of of teachers and fellow students, I see. Oh, I guess we're near a dorm. But now in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in the cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah, yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white-painted sky are the only signs of time passing in this stagnant world. Damn, this writer really likes to go deep. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it feel like this time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me. Interrupting the quiet mood, someone is approaching me from behind. He's right behind you, look out! Hi, Hisao, you came. A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. Feel my heart skip a beat. It's the voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never is more than an eavesdropper into a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Nice. I'm just gonna... Iwanako. Oh, is this... Hang on a sec. Shit. Technical difficulties in the background. Try to ignore them. Iwanako, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Wait, Iwanako. Yeah, Iwanako. Never heard that name before. Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle, even if I had tried. Oh. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. What? Cacopious? I don't even know. Give me a sec, I'm looking up this word, because I swear to God, I have no clue what that word is. This writer likes making things harder than they need to be. Cacophonous, involving or producing a harsh, discordant mixture of sounds. Noises music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could do it. For fuck's sake. Notifications, get out of here. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. So, I reach up to try and massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. So, my whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. The music is really good. So, the beating of my chest suddenly stops and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanako running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. This writer is going a bit ham. Four Leaf Studios. Katawa Shoujo. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Damn, a high school student and you had a heart attack? That's rather unfortunate. And that whole time I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia? Arrhythmia? Strange word, a foreign alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition, it causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. That said, it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. Really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to dissect everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards, but the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Yeah, well, that's the norm. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. A hospital. It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed that the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly changed its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. I felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mess I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week would go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was, but other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, though the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness of my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Let me get rid of these notifications, goddammit. Okay, today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. Hang on. Oh, that's the pause button? That's also my mute button. Interesting. I had to sneeze. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There's this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time, sorting his paper, then setting them aside, as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine, looks me in the eye for a moment. Hello, Sal. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the papers seem insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this, for the rest of my life, every day? I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Sal. Listen to what your doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knows full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I gonna be homeschooled? Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. You'll understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least, not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look for a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. Looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other the return of me sucking at English. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school? That's an insult. This is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active, in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help, in one way or another. Your father's right. Many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. This is a fact. As someone with a disability, I agree that you don't need to be held back by one. And if you let yourself be held back by one, you're a fucking waste. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I had always thought my life was actually kind of boring. But now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway. But no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice, I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school? What are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this, at least. I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Is that me? Is that Hasao? What a fancy ass looking gate. Damn, those bricks are mighty fine detailed. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one's especially so. I mean, he's kinda right, actually. Red bricks, black wrought iron and grey plaster, assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. Hey. Is this like a photo? I feel like this is a photo of a real place, actually, that's then been stylized. Like, it's clearly not just a normal photo, but it seems too real, almost, to just be drawn. So I walk towards the Jesus, the music's loud. So I walk towards the main building of Yamaku Academy. With this brisk pace, I'm alone. With this brisk pace. I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. Doesn't look like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. Makes me shudder. I shake that off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Like this goddamn image is. Seriously. Even though I was told that this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. Makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I was stepping into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. Makes me think about hospitals again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haunting main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad... These have got to be real photos. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be... Nikki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Matoi. Welcome. Exchange your handshake that is neither firm nor snappy, and he looks at his watch. Head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher's saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. Probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class free. Muto opens the door and enter. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least, not this soon. Follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gaze of my new classmates. We got classmates, we got girls, we got guys, we got classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling is unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by the blackboard, and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient, was that? I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But them, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. Only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing a thumb on her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. Hey, more people. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if to try and make her invisible. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute. So is the cherry-looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome my newest classmate. claps his hands, so does everybody else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for the applause. I did not deserve. The collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Isao Nakai, and after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. End up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said. Though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Could have gone worse. Listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? God fucking damn it. Yeah, it's fine with me. In real life, I hate group work. I think everyone does, but come on. It sucks. Everyone knows group work sucks. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh right, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Hey, it's the cute pink-haired girl. As calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. Take a seat next to her by the window. She's pretty friggin' cute. Can I date her? Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha ha ha. What? I'm caught off guard by laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but what? Oh, I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Okay, that one. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to it. Well, then I like Misha. The one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you. You can see you're a little confused, right? Right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We know there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon. He-chan, right? He-chan? Yep, fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just how I imagined. Yeah, you look like a He-chan. Wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention, then gestures back and forth to each other excitedly. Their hands are blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants to know... What? Wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word. What? Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in our otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. Hahaha. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school either. Oh, always, even if it's a trip to a convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly. But anyway, I didn't see anything, and Misha signs, what? And Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. Some of this dialogue's a little, I don't want to say badly written, but weirdly written. It's a little weird to get through. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down, are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needed. What? As much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Wahaha! Alright. Ah, and another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Haha. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Huh? Oh right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too. Shizune glares at the top of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Alright, should I save? Can I save? Save. Create new save state. Progress successfully saved. So if I load? There it is. Alright, well then, cool. With that, I'm gonna end this first episode. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, as we're gonna be going through this story from here on out. We're gonna do all the routes, probably, assuming I enjoy it enough to do all the routes. And yeah, I'll see you all next time with more, I almost said Doki Doki Literature Club, but with more Katawa Shoujo. It's gonna be weird, not calling it Dochi Dochi anymore. Alright, see you all next time.